Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle that invisible force that keeps every single organization running: business communication. It's happening all the time, whether you're paying attention to it or not. So the real question is, how do you get good at it? How do you master it? Let's dive in. Before we get started on this critical subject, please take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more expert breakdowns just like this one. So let's kick things off with this really powerful idea. Think about it. Communication is just like breathing. You're not consciously thinking about every single breath you take, right? It just happens. Well, it's the exact same thing in business. The question isn't if you're communicating, but how well you're actually doing it. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a cool model called the Wheel of Communication. Then we'll break it down into its two key parts: the inner circle, which is all your internal folks, and the outer circle, everyone on the outside. And finally, we'll talk about how you bring it all together to master your message. To really get a handle on all this, I want you to picture communication as a giant wheel. It's a really dynamic way to see just how many different connections a manager has to juggle. And right there at the very center of it all, yeah, that's you. As a manager, you are literally the hub of this wheel. Every single message, every directive, all the feedback, it either starts with you or it flows through you. Your main job is to keep this wheel spinning nice and smooth, making sure everyone's on the same page and the whole organization is moving forward together. So, if you're the hub, then what are the spokes of this wheel? Well, they're your stakeholders. And pay attention to this definition here. We're not just talking about your customers or your team, we're talking about every single group of people you need to talk to, both inside and outside the company. All right, let's start building this wheel. The first half is the inner circle. These are your internal stakeholders. The people you work with every single day to keep the business running. We're talking about your boss, your colleagues, the people who report to you, and of course, the company's owners, the shareholders. And now let's complete the picture by adding the outer circle. This is everybody else: your customers, your suppliers, government agencies, the media, the list goes on. And when you see it all laid out like this, you really start to get a sense of just how complicated a manager's communication job truly is. Okay, now let's zoom in a little bit on that inner circle. This is all about the communication that happens within the four walls of the company, the stuff that keeps the internal engine running smoothly. This chart gives us a fantastic high-level view. Just look at how the why, the objective, changes depending on who you're talking to. With your superiors, it's all about awareness and getting feedback. With your peers, it's about coordination. And for shareholders, the number one goal is building trust and confidence. This slide really highlights a key difference: communicating upstream to your bosses versus downstream to your team. See, upstream is all about reporting, giving your 2 cents, and solving problems. Downstream is about giving direction and explaining policies. It's a perfect example of how your purpose completely changes your method. And this isn't just theory, Here's a great real-world example. Unison, which is this huge trade union in the UK, doesn't just hope good communication happens. Nope. They use specific tools, like an in-house magazine and special workshops, just to make sure their staff are engaged, in the loop, and actually part of making policy happen. It's treated as a strategic function, not just some afterthought. Okay, if you're finding this detailed analysis helpful, a quick like and subscription really helps us create more in-depth learning resources like this. So, we've looked inside. Now let's pivot and turn our attention to the outer circle. This is where your company meets the rest of the world. And let me tell you, getting communication right out here isn't just important, it is absolutely critical for survival. The stakes out here are unbelievably high. We're not just talking about teamwork anymore. Good external communication is what lets you sell your products, build a great reputation, and, maybe most importantly, navigate a crisis when things go sideways. It has a direct impact on the bottom line and how the public sees you. This table is basically your external game plan, and you can see that every stakeholder needs a totally different approach. With consumers, you're trying to persuade them. With suppliers, you're building a partnership. With the government, it's all about compliance. And with the media, you're building relationships. Each one is its own little strategic mission. And here is a perfect example of what happens when a crisis hits. When Coke and Pepsi got accused of having pesticides in their drinks, sending out an internal memo just wasn't going to cut it. They had to launch a massive, full-blown public relations campaign to control the narrative and rebuild public trust. This is external communication in its most critical moment. Now, this comparison shows a really subtle but important point. Both shareholders and bankers care about the company's finances, right? But you have to talk to them differently. Shareholders are internal owners. They need to feel confident about the future. Bankers are external partners. You need to convince them to lend you money. That tiny difference in who they are completely changes how you communicate. So, we've looked at the inside, we've looked at the outside. The last, most important step is to bring it all together. Mastering your message really means understanding that these two circles are connected. What you say to your team inside has to line up with the image you're projecting outside. Why? Because any disconnect there can destroy trust in a heartbeat with both your employees and your customers. So, how do you actually master this whole wheel of communication? Well, it really comes down to these three things. Number one, know your stakeholder. Are they internal or external? That tells you your main goal. Number two, choose the right channel to get the job done. And number three, and this is the big one, sync your message. Make sure the brand you show the world is the same as the culture you actually live and breathe inside the company. And that pretty much wraps it up. We'll leave you with this question to think about. When you picture your own communication wheel, which one of those spokes is your biggest challenge? Is it managing up to your boss, coordinating with your peers, or is it facing the public? Figuring that out is the first real step to becoming a master communicator. Thank you so much for watching. If you mastered this concept, show your support by liking the video and subscribing before you go.